Reading can be fun, but in order to make it fun, you need some good books. Hello friends, welcome to another video of Karan's World, and today I'm making a video on some of the best books I've ever read in my life. But before we start on this video, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel Karan's World. Let's get started. Yep, you guessed it. My first book is from David Walliams called The Ice Monster. And number one, and I really like this book, and it's one of the best that I've ever read in my life because this book has loads of reality and clarity in it. It shows the life of a newborn baby that was left in the front of an orphanage because their family couldn't treat them. Because in the olden times, the really poor people couldn't even serve themselves food. So when they have a child, they can't serve them. So the child may die. So that's why people in the olden times, the poor people, gave their children to orphanages or to some high state rich families so they can take after their child because they can't handle it because they haven't got the money to raise them. So that's how Elsie, the orphan, got put in Wormley Hall, the worst orphanage you can ever have. And when she grew up, she grew up as an orphan, and she escaped one day. She told her friends that she would be back, but she escaped because she couldn't take it anymore. Because Wormley Hall was like a torture place for children. So she left. So she escaped one night, and then she started living the streets of London. And the book also explains how good, it really explained, David Walliams did a really good job because it explained how the urchin, how Elsie suffered, how she got treated by the modern people back then and the rich people, how she got treated. You can't even imagine, it's that bad. But if you wanna know, get this book. So basically, back onto the book, it says The Ice Monster, and I haven't mentioned it yet. So yes, here we go. The Ice Monster, the name is actually this because in the book, apparently a few divers found a woolly mammoth in Antarctica, frozen, but it was a baby one, but it's still massive. So they took it to the National History Museum. That's where Elsie lived near to. She didn't live anywhere actually, to be honest with you. She actually lived on the streets with a little piece of newspaper to keep her warm. She barely did anything. So that's how. And then she got to see the woolly mammoth. They became friends, and that's how the story began. But I'm not wasting it for you. The link is in the description below. If you wanna see the book, and if you wanna have the book and read it, do go buy it or get it from the library. It's now in the library as well. Captain Underpants. To all those Captain Underpants lovers, I'm sure you love that book. Well, of course, if they love it, you of course love it. So basically, in this story, it's really funny. All Captain Underpants stories are really funny, but I found this really especially funny because the villain made a really weird kind of weapon to kill Captain Underpants. And it was called the Radioactive Robo-Boxers. So welcome Captain Underpants and the Revolting Revenge of the Radioactive Robo-Boxers. So basically, there are four main people in this story. There is Captain Underpants, of course, Harold and George, and the villain. I'm not telling you the name of the villain because then I'll just give it away. So if you want this book, the link is below in the description. It's called Captain Underpants and the Revolting Revenge of the Radioactive Robo-Boxers. And you get these in the library, and you also get them cheap if you get them used from Amazon or anything. That's also from all the books in this video. You can get them used for a low price. You don't need to get it brand new, because you can get used books, used types of these books for great condition. So do check this book out. It's really, really funny. So basically, in this book, it shows how the villain always tries to get rid of Captain Underpants, but he always fails. That is mainly thanks to Captain Underpants' strength and Karan and George's brain. So that's how he always fails. So in this one, he made a radioactive Robo-Boxer, like I've told you before, and he tried to kill Captain Underpants with that, but totally failed. And it was really funny how he failed. So do check this book out. It's really good. I really love this book. So yeah, check this book out, guys. So before I start telling you about this book, I just want to tell you, I'm in year 7 right now, and I recommend this book to people in year 7 and onwards, because this book uses some foul language and things that are not suitable for some kids, for kids till year 6. So I actually got this book from the teacher. Like, basically, we were focusing on this book in English, and the teacher told us to buy a copy of this. She didn't tell us to, but I bought one, so I wanted to read it. And this book is really, really good. So yeah, I only recommend it to people from year 7 onwards. So this is just a book for people from 12 years onwards. So this book is called The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. So Mark Haddon is a really, really, really good author. He makes some really, really good real life and serious books that are made for kids, like teenagers, basically. So this book says it's actually the main plot is of a dog. The dog died, and Christopher Boone wanted what he has is an autistic child. He has Asperger's syndrome, but he's a really precise child. He wants everything. He's a really practical kid. So he's 15 years old in this story, and he has a tendency to walk around in the streets in the nighttime if he doesn't get sleep. So one day he was walking around and he saw the dog, Wellington. That's the name of the dog. Dead. The dog was stabbed through with the garden fork right to the bottom of the earth, and so the dog was totally dead. It was his neighbour's dog, Mrs. Shears. So Mrs. Shears saw Christopher Boone hugging the dog because Christopher Boone liked dogs, so he hugged it in sadness. And when Mrs. Shears shouted and did very bad stuff to Christopher Boone, shouted at him, called the police and all of that. And then Christopher got a caution, but he still persevered because he wanted to know the killer of the Wellington, because he loved dogs and he loved that dog. So that's one of the main moments in the story. So this book is actually made by Christopher Boone. Like it's got all his adventures in this book by Mark Haddon, and it's a really good book. Do check this book out. After actually when Christopher found the killer of Wellington, he wanted to move out. He lived in Swindon. And his father actually told him that his mother was dead from a heart attack. But no, his father lied to him. So his mother was living in London. She had a job there because his mother and his father had split up. So she was in London and he was with his father in Swindon. But he wanted to move out and see his mother, because after he got to know that his father lied to him, he wanted to move out from him. So Christopher also had the journey of how he went on the train by himself, tackling so many obstacles, and with fear he still got to his mother. So these are the things about the dog and how Christopher Boon's adventures. Do check this book out. Link is in the description below. So yeah, go check this book out. It's really good. So all those murder mystery novel lovers, this book is one for you. So you might be wondering why I didn't mention one of Britain's famous authors. Yep, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. Author was J.K. Rowling, which you may know. So, in this book, it describes how Harry has got an invitation to go to Hogwarts, the School of Wizardry, and he only got the invitation because his father and his mother were wizards and witches, but they both died due to a very, very bad wizard called Voldemort. So he got an invitation by the head of Hogwarts called Dumbledore, and the people who he lived with were Harry Potter's father's older brother's house. So he always got tortured by that in that house. Nobody liked him. The couple had a son called Dudley, and he was a very, very chubby boy who had no feelings for Harry. He was so spoiled by his parents that nobody they almost felt Dudley thought that Harry was like a stranger when he was his cousin. So he treated Harry that way. They locked him up in a room and they gave him boring soup every day, canned soup that's not even warm. So that's how bad they treated him. And they always trashed the invitations, but Dumbledore never stopped giving them. He kept on giving it. It flowed. If the whole house was full of invitations, Harry got one. He read it, and he saw that it was Hogwarts. So what he did was, he went into the train station. It was a magic one. So yeah, and the story begins and the adventure starts. I'm not wasting with you. Link is in the description below. Do check this book out. And so yeah, it's a very, very good book. I think this book was #1 along with The Ice Monster. This book, Ice Monster, and The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. Those 3 books were the best books that I've ever read. So much clarity, so much reality. Well, basically not in the Harry Potter because it's made up. It's fiction, it's fantasy, it's got loads of magic. So yeah, even though this book is not real and nothing that's happened in this book is not real, I still love this book. It actually describes it in a real way, and that's how I liked it, because I don't like these usually I don't like these type of made up stories, but Harry Potter is a different kind of made up story. I don't think you should call it a made up story. It's a fantasy book. I love this book. Go check these books out, guys. It's in the links are in the description below. And yeah, so don't forget, I'm telling you, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, Karan's World, and share this video and all my other videos to your friends and family. Thank you guys. Bye.